Ada dia. ಅದೇ ಅದ ಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಹ ಓನನ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಉಂಟು ಯಾವ್ದು ಮಾರೆ ಇನ್ನೆಂತ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಇದೆ
Hello, 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 hello everyone. Good afternoon. How are you all? Can you hear me? If you can hear me loud and clear, please type out L and C in the chat box. So we have about 18 plus 10. A lot many people to join. But while they join, I hope you all were able to practice whatever we have covered so far. How many of you were able to practice what we have covered so far? Please type in me in the chat box. Okay, we've got good. Keep the responses coming. Okay. So not many people, about 10 people or so out of 32. Come on. If you're able to practice whatever we have covered so far, please type out me in the chat box. Great. um, which is the platform that you tried to do? Please type out in the chat box. Which platform did you try out to replicate? You tried out Zoom. Okay, very nice. Hacker Rank, nice. X, Quora, and LinkedIn. Very good. X, Hacker Rank, Facebook, X. Okay. Spotify, interesting. Netflix, Quora, Spotify. Pinterest, very good. Facebook, Vagaro. Okay. Never heard of it, but yeah, good. And were you able to replicate? How much percentage were you able to replicate? Udemy, very good. Who were able to replicate like completely, like close to 100%. Or whatever percentage it is, type out in the chat box. 88%. Okay, that is great. How did you calculate that? Anyways, just joking. Okay, good. 90%. Others. Come on. 70 to 80%. Okay. Only 4 people have responded. Come on. I want to hear it out. 80. 100% says Chirag. Great. Congratulations. 85%. 100 says Samrat as well. Very good. Congratulations. So is it Ayush who is using Samrat's system or what's happening there? 60%. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I will quickly recap what we did during the last session, and let's do some bit that was pending since from the last session, and then go to the next one, which is the repeating group. Yeah, are we all ready to get started? Please type in ready in the chat box. Quick, 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 quick. Yes, yes, yes. Some more readies. Okay, let me share my screen. Uh, can you see my bubble screen, everyone? Yep. Okay, cool. Let me pull that here. And okay, so we began with fixed layout, right? And then we understood what is column layout, what is row layout. We also looked into container alignments. Okay, with regards to column, it is top, center, and bottom, along with space around and space between. With regards to row layout, right? It is left, center, right, space around, and space between. Okay. Um, so we saw that. And then we also looked into the row gap and the column gap based on what is the layout. And then we also looked into the horizontal alignment. Okay. Again, this depends on whatever is the parent container's layout. Yeah. Are we good so far? Can we understand what are the widths, heights, and this alignment? I mean, this properties. Can we get started, everyone? Type in +1 in the chat box if you are ready for the next set, which is width, height, properties. Hello, hello, hello. People on YouTube, come on. No responses seen. Okay. So to understand about the width, okay, I'm going to create a new group, width and height, basically, new page. And let's call this as dimensions. Okay. Let me add a group to this particular page. And before I add the group, let me make this particular page to be column layout. Okay. As soon as I make it as column, the group will be shifted to top left. Right. So let's make this as 200 width. You can see that make this element fixed width is checked. Okay. Which means the element is now 200 width fixed. Likewise, I'm going to make this as 200 and make it as fixed height. So what we have done, we have created a group with fixed width and height. Okay. Now I'll change the color of this background. I'll change the background color of this particular group. Okay. To some random color. Now let's preview this quickly. And as expected, we are going to see a box with 200 to 200 on the left top. Okay. Now, if I add anything over on this particular group, okay, which is of greater width, okay, let's assume I'll make this as 220, not height, sorry. I can 30, let's say, the width is 220. Okay, you can see that that box is already coming out of the group. Okay. Likewise, if I increase the height also, this will come out of the group. Got it? I just want to show you what does fixed mean. Okay. Fixed means no matter whatever you add into that particular group, the group's width and height remains the same. Okay. It does not adjust based on the content added. It is fixed. Now what I'll do is I'll remove this particular box, the check box that was there, which is make this element fixed width. I have removed that. And you can quickly see that the group has expanded for the entire width of the page. So if we go to the preview mode and refresh this, check what's happening. The entire region, right? 200 as height has been fixed, but the width has been opened, right? Width, what we are given? We are given 200 as the minimum width, and there is no max width. So if space is available, it will keep increasing, right? So that is this one. Let me copy paste the group. Okay, let me make this group color something else. And let's change the page layout to row so that it comes one besides the other. Now you see it on the preview mode. No, yeah, that's what. So we refresh this. You can see it is coming one besides the other. Okay, because we have made the parent group as row element, and row means one besides the other. Now I'll add one more group. I'll change the color. You can see all the three coming one besides the other. Right? So when we had just one group, the same group was taking the entire space. When we added two groups were dividing the entire space by 2. When we added three groups were taking the space. Just give me a minute. Yeah, excuse me. But how long can this keep happening? Okay, let's go to the responsive tab in the editor and we will see how does this work, right? So right now we are at 1080 pixels of page width. If I increase this, then each of the group will keep increasing. Okay, let me add a text box to show you that. Let me add a group here. And I think we can get the group. This is group A, right? So I'll go here. I'll mention group A's width. Let's get this to center. Let's also get this to center. So this is here. I'll copy paste on this group also. Let's get this to here and let's make this as group B's. I think this is group B. Yeah. So let's make this as group B's width. I'll copy paste the same thing over here. and this group will be group C's width. And no matter what, this will stay the same. Okay, 512, 512, 512. Even if we come to responsiveness, okay, here we will not be able to see it, but you can visualize it, right? So if I increase this, each of the groups width will increase. If I reduce this, it will reduce. But at some point it will break, right? So I'll keep reducing, I'll keep reducing. So the page width right now is this one. Page width, you can see it over here. Okay, so I'll keep reducing even further. You see that it will break at certain point. Okay. So at this moment, right, where the page width is 599.5999, okay, it has broken. Can anybody tell me why did it break? Why did it shrink further and why did it break? Anyone? Hare Krishna. Good. Right? So if we go to group in the layout, we have mentioned min width is 200 pixels. Okay. Minimum width that we need for each of the group is 200 pixels. So 200 plus 200 plus 200. How much is that? How much is that? Hello, 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 hello. 600. So until the page width is 600, right? Everything will work smoothly. So 601.599, it is working fine. The moment we go below 600, it breaks because we have told minimum we need is 200. So when it goes below 200, what happens is the third group will go down. And then group A and group B will share whatever is available. Did you understand what is the min width? Why is min width important? Yeah. Now let's go with max width, right? Let me put max width as 350, right? I've put max width as 350. Prior to that, what I'll do is I'll go to the page. Okay, we'll add some color to the page because I want you to observe something here. So the entire page is covered by these three boxes for the height that we have set, right? You cannot see this orange color on the right side, right? Now, if I go to this particular group and make this as 350, and if I make this group also as 350 max width, and if I come and refresh here, what will happen is this both boxes will be fixed at maximum of 350, while this box will expand until the space is available. Okay, because we have not mentioned anything as max width, right? We need a minimum of 200, but it can expand as long as the space is available. Okay. And the moment I make this also as 350, then we will have a lot of space available on the right side. So are you clear with what is min width, what is max width? Everyone? People on YouTube, you seem to be a bit slow today. Why? Come on. Respond. Come on. We have 29, 27 plus 14 or so. We have less participants today. Any reason? At least 15, 20 are missing today. Any reasons for them? Anyways, we'll figure that out later. Okay, so min and max is clear with regards to width, right? Likewise, we can, so there is something called fit width to content. We will come to that a bit later. Okay, let's understand the height aspect of it. So we had fixed the height to 200. I'm going to expand this. Okay. And if we go back to this one and we make this as column. And this, remove this and this. We'll remove this and this. I'll go here. I'll remove this debug mode equal to true because there is some, this thing comes at the bottom. So we can see the same thing happening over here. Let me change this from width to height. Let's change this to width to height. Similarly, we'll change this from width to height. Okay. So whatever is the dimension of the entire page, that will be divided by 3. Okay. It will get equally split. But if we reduce the height, okay, then let's say, for example, I tell the page height a maximum. We don't have a max height here. Yeah, that's right. Let me add all of this into another group elements in column container. And this particular group I'll mention is, let's say, 900, max of 900. So what will happen? Each of the group. Okay, the page dimension itself is not 900. That's why we are not able to see that. Let me go over here and make this as 700. So what will happen? Each of the group will get 233.32, right? Because it is equally split. Now, when I go to each of the group and make max height as 250, okay, let's say 220. You can see that each of this will become 220 and there is a lot of space available here. Clear, everyone? Did you understand what is min width, max width, min height, max height? Type in +3 in the chat box or +2 maybe. Okay. There is third angle to it, which is called fit width to content or fit height to content. Okay. Normally, you can either give max width or use fit width to content. Okay. And what this fit width to content does is it will expand based on the content added within the group. Okay. What do I mean by that? So for this particular group, what we have done is, so here I'll remove the max width. Okay. Here I've kept min and max width. Here I've added fit width to content. Let's see how this is looking. So you can see that this has gone to 220. No, this is height. So this has expanded and the entire width of the page. This is stuck to 350 and this is even smaller, right? But if I go to this particular group and add a text, okay, this text, whatever is there, if I add some random text there, okay, this has expanded further. If I add even further text, it will expand even further, right? What is it actually doing? The width of this particular group is basis the content added within that group. Are you able to follow? If the content is short, then the group width will also be short. If the content is large, then the width will also increase. Got it? Okay, that is this particular group. If I get this to previous, this group to previous, see what happens. Right? So this is full, this is based on the content. And then if we have 350 pixels space available, okay, that is if I reduce the content over here slightly, let's say I'll remove few characters. We go here. Okay, not yet. Maybe even further. Let's try this. Okay. Oh, we have made this as a column, right? Yeah. So if you make it as row, right? You can see that it's all coming in same line. While this particular group is expanding based on its content. Is this clear? Are you able to follow? Similarly, when we are talking about the height, the same logic will be applied. Okay. So let's assume that I'm going to make this as 35. Okay. And height, I'll make it as 200 fixed. Width, I'll remove. Okay. And for us to be able to play around with fit height to content, we have to change this to column. Right. So I'll come to this one and I'll make this as fit to height to content. So based on the content, we will keep expanding the height of this particular group. Okay. Let's make it as 300. 200 seems to be very small. Now I'll change the group content, the text content. I'll type some random things. So what is happening here is because we have told that the width is fixed. Okay, because we have told the width is fixed to 300, the text is going down and down and down, and the height is getting increased. Here we were increasing it with width. Here we are playing around with height. Okay. So based on whatever is your requirement for the design, okay, you have to play around with min width, max width, min height, max height, fit width to content, fit height to content. Are we clear on this? Yep. Can we go back to our LinkedIn example and refine it a bit, because we had left it little bit, right? So if we go back here, we wanted this to be responsive and we saw that it was not responsive in our previous case. So let's go back. Right, so I'm going back to the register page. Oh, what is the one? Group, okay. I'll change this from group to maybe LinkedIn landing page. Register, so that we can easily find it whenever we need. Yeah. So let me preview this. Let's quickly check what are the things that we have to change. It's not group anymore. Come on. Yeah. So let's go to responsiveness and check how can we change and what needs to change. So if you see here, this is good. Okay. But at 591 or so, the image is getting cropped. So what should be the settings that we have to do for the image? What we have done as of now, width is 588, height is 442, and both of this is fixed. And that's why we are saying that it is getting cropped for a screen size which is less than 588. Okay. So ideally what we have to do is select this keep elements aspect ratio fixed, which is available for images. And when you do that, the aspect ratio will automatically be applied. Okay, 5:4. And you can play around with the width. Now what I'll do is I'll remove this width thing that we need. And we can start with, let's say, 250 and go on all the way until 550 or so. And this one, where we have mentioned fit width to content, we can just remove this. Okay, closely observe. I made a couple of changes. I will reiterate what I've done, but let's firstly check if this is working fine. We will come down. The image will keep reducing now. Pay close attention. Okay. Because we have made it as 250, if we need, we can make it as 300 as well, right? We can also get this to center, so it will always remain center of the page with regards to this as well. We'll reduce it further down. Okay. Now, while that is getting reduced, right, we can also reduce the font size if we want. Okay, so it all matches well. Okay, so if we go here, okay, the font size right now is 32 pixels. We can add a condition over here where we say the width, current page width is less than or equals to. Okay, let's say right now we are at 700. So less than or equals to 800. Okay, from 32, we can make it as 28. So we will search for font. How do we add a condition? I'll show you again. I'm going to delete this. We were in appearance. We have seen the layout. I'm going to conditional now. I'm going to define another condition. And I'm going to add over here. Click on click and then search for width. You will get current page width. You can mention less than or equals to whatever you feel right. Okay, 800. And then you can search for font size. You will get the default value, which is 32. You can make it as 28. Right? You can already see that this has reduced a bit. Now go to layout and min height was 100. Change it to 30. What will happen? Fit height to content is ticked. So based on the content, the height will also increase. So you can see that I have made it as 30, but height of this is not 30 actually, it is 78, right? Because what we have mentioned is min height is 30, but fit height to content. So when we actually expand, the height of that will also increase and the image will also increase. Down, 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 down. It will fit well on this particular screen also, right? Which is at 691, right? Slightly increase. Okay, up to 707 or so. It will come in this view. Okay, and then it will go like this. Got it? So you can play around with the conditions. Okay, now you reduce it further. The image will also reduce. Okay, you can see at 415 or so, we are able to see some issues here. Okay, and that is because we have mentioned the min width is 396. We can remove this. We can mention this as 300. Min width as 300. Go over here, make this also min width as 300 and can, let's say 400. We don't need more than that. Same thing over here. Make this as 300. Allow it to expand up to 400. Remove this fit width to content. Similarly, we will apply the same logic over here. Up to 400. Minimum is 300. Okay. And we can apply the same logic for this as well. Okay. Expand up to 400. Remove this one. Same logic for this text as well. Minimum 300. Expand up to 400. Remove this. Now you can see that the page is responsive. Okay. Have we made anything here in this particular group? Yeah, group is 396. So we'll have to make it a group level as well, right? So allow it to expand. Fit width to content is fine for this particular group. We can reduce. You can see we have come until 320. 320 is the smallest screen size. Okay, we don't have any screens which is less than that. And if you are able to manage to get it to 320, then that is great. Okay, one thing we have to do though is now the text is corner to corner. Okay, so we may have to add some padding. So we can go to group main and add some padding on the left and the right side. Ideally 20 pixels padding would be good. And when we do that, you can see that this is getting cut off because we have told 300. That overall screen size right now is 320, out of which 20 pixels on the left and 20 pixels on the right. And that's why it's ideal to make this as 280. So make this 280. Make this 280. Make this 280. This one as 280. This as 80. And the group also as 280. And you can see that everything gets aligned perfectly fine. Okay, one thing though is they have made the height as 410, and that's why this button is going outside the group. which is overlapping on the image. So we'll have to remove this one, and you can see that now this button is also within the group, right? Because we have mentioned min height is 410, but it can expand. Okay. With these changes, what we have done is we have made a responsive page. No matter whatever is the screen size, the content will automatically get adjusted. Did you understand this? Very, very crucial. Type in +3 in the chat box if you have understood the concept. So you might have heard of this a lot, that you have to make responsive applications and stuff like that. This is how you make it responsive, right? A lot of things are involved. Of course, if you want to make the text center align when it is in mobile and so on and so forth, you have to add those conditions, right? So when we are on a mobile screen, let's say, for example, the screen, right now, this is left aligned, which is not good, right? So you may want to go to this particular text, right? Which is, yeah, horizontal alignment, right? Whenever the screen size is less, horizontal alignment can be center. We'll have to put a condition here, okay, based on whenever we are changing the view. So for example, it is happening at 700, no, 800, 900, 8. Oh no, it's already down. Okay. 985. Okay. So you can put a condition over here where you say that width is, current page width is less than or equals to 985. Horizontal alignment is not left but center. Copy this condition, go to each of these buttons, paste the condition. Copy the condition, go to each of these elements, paste the condition. Okay. So you see that when it is on the desktop, it is left aligned. Okay. But when we get, what do you say, get it to even further smaller, okay, you can see it comes center, which looks neat, right? Strangely, LinkedIn also has not done this one on their app, which is strange, but yeah. Let's not get there, but I hope you understood how to do this. Yeah. Okay. So this covers grouping and responsiveness. Okay. Are we good, everyone? Can we go to the next topic? Okay. So now we are going to cover something called repeating group. Okay. Repeating group is nothing but arrays, right? List of things. Yeah. Do you know arrays, everyone? How many of you know what is array? Type in me in the chat box. Type in me in the chat box if you know arrays. Only a few. What are arrays? What is an array? Collection of same elements. Okay. List of elements. Okay. Collection of same data type. Yes. Okay. Very important. Collection of same data type, right? Or same elements, as somebody has mentioned. Over here, it's basically data types. Okay. Collection of items of the same data type. Okay. So let's quickly check what are arrays in real world. Okay. Um, so since you already know what are arrays, can you give me examples of arrays in real life examples? What are some examples of arrays in real life example, which we use on a day-to-day basis? Come on, think of it. Think of examples of arrays and let me know. Quick, 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 quick. Hello, hello, hello. Shopping list, okay, metrics. Only students allowed to the classroom. Leaderboard. What else? Think of some common examples which we use daily. Comments. Okay. Yes, others. Bookshelf. Class attendance list. Okay. I'm still hearing and seeing. Okay. So tell me if it is array or not. Okay. Somebody mentioned about comments. What do you think about WhatsApp messages? Message inbox? WhatsApp messages? Amazon? Your Facebook posts? Instagram reels? YouTube videos? Emails in your Gmail? Are all of this arrays? Yes, no? Hello, hello, hello. How many of you think items in Amazon is list of same data type? How many of you think emails in Gmail is of the same data type? How many of you think that your contacts in your mobile phone is a list of same data type? Right? Messages in your WhatsApp is of the same data type. Right? Almost everything that you're using has arrays in it, list of things. Right? Facebook, list of posts. Instagram, list of reels. Right? YouTube, list of videos. Pinterest, list of images. Isn't it? Timetable, calendar, right? Any application you are thinking about is a list of things. Albums, right? So any application that you're thinking of is nothing but a collection of something. Okay. And that's why it's important for you to understand how do you showcase a list of things. Okay. And what we're going to cover next is exactly the same thing. Okay. We will understand how do we create a list of things to be shown on the front end. Okay. Let me go back to the what is it, data, app data. We have created, we had users and we have got 84 registrations with students of about 60. Okay, so there are a few random registrations that has happened. Anyways, so we've got 84 users, what I say, registering on the portal, and we want to display this on the front end. Let's assume. Okay, we want to display this on the front end. So let's understand how do we display this on the front end. So for that, I'm going to create a new page and let's call this as admin page. Okay, create. And the first thing that we are going to do for any page that we are going to create is change the layout to column. Okay. Second thing that we are going to do from here on is add a group on the main page, right? Without fit width to content and without fit height to content for now. Okay, so that is it expands for the entire page. And then group A, I will change it to group main. Then I'll go to layout. I'll add some padding to it. Okay, so that any content that I'm going to add, any elements that I'm going to add is not sticking to the left top corner, but it has some spacing on the top and the left side. So I'm going to add a text here and I'm going to mention this as users. Okay, and we don't need it to be 16 pixels. We will make it as, let's say, header 2. Yeah. And let's firstly understand how do we show the user's detail, one user detail. Okay. Let's say if I want to show the user's email ID, what I would do, I'll go to text box. I'll add a text element, right? And we will tell current user's email. Who is the current user here? Who is the current user here? Who is the current user here? Okay, let's do one thing. I will click on preview. It says abcd@red7.com. Okay. I hope you will also be able to see. Okay. So open the link that I've shared in the chat box and see what is the email ID that is being shown to you. And tell me who is the current user. Hello, hello, hello. Have you opened the link? What are you able to see there? Are you also able to see abcd@red7.com? No email. Okay. No mail ID. Okay. Just give me a minute in that case because you are not logged in. Okay, that's the problem. I'm going to do something. Okay, do not worry much about it. We will cover this sometime later. Um, this is a quick fix. Don't worry. I'm not sure if this works for everybody, but let's try it out. Should take you to admin page. Okay. Requires. So most of you are logged out of the system. Okay, and that's why you're not able to see any email IDs, but I want you to see that. And that's why what I want you to do is go to the link that I've shared just now, which is ending with register. Okay. And you probably are not seeing this particular element. You probably are not seeing this particular icon here because you are logged out. Okay, so this is the logout icon. And if you are able to see this, then you should also be able to see the email on the link that I shared before this. Okay, if you are not able to see this, type in your email ID here and click on send magic link. I hope you will get some email with the link to your inbox. Click on that and you should be landing on the admin page with your email ID shown. Can you quickly check this out? Quick. Also, if the email is not in your inbox, check in the spam. So are you able to see your email ID on the admin page? Shreyas, Arjun. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So for those of you who have completed this, now tell me what is current, who is current user in this particular case, current user's email ID. Whom does current user belong to, refer to? Hello, everyone, please. Who does current user refer to? Hello, can you hear me? Is it such a hard question? If I am able to see my email ID and if you are able to see your email ID, who is current user referring to? The page is the same, right? Users are different, and each user is able to see their own email ID, which means current user will always refer to the current user who is on the browser. For me, it is me. For you on your browser, it is you, right? For each individual, current user will always refer to themselves when they are on the browser. Okay. So if now I have to add one more uh, data type, data field, where current user's creation date. Okay, let's say I want to add a creation date to be shown on the front end. Can you refresh the page? And can you check if that was the date when we registered on the portal? Yes. Somebody has unmuted themselves. Please mute. Yeah. Okay. So right now what we have done is we have added the details of one of the user. But if you want to do it for list of users, right? For all the users, we want to see what is their email ID. For all the users, we want to see when did they register. Okay. For that, what we are going to do is we are going to use this repeating group, right? Repeating group is equivalent of your arrays in Bubble, right? When you want to have collections of data type, or rather list of records of the same data type, you do it in array format in coding, right? In Bubble, the no code world, it is called repeating group. It's as good as a group, but it is repeating group, right? Which means it is repeating for the number of records we have in the database, right? And like we discussed this for before, it is of the same data type. Okay, and that's why it is asking what is the type of content that you want this repeating group for, right? And right now we have just one data type, which is user. So I'll select user. Now the next option, option that we have to fill is what is the data source? Where are you getting this user list from? Because we have mentioned type of content is user. Now, where is the list of users coming from? Okay. What we want to showcase right now is app data, all the users in the data table. Right. So the way how we can fetch the data from Bubble server is this. Go here and use this do a search for. Okay. We are going to data source and we will use do a search for. And it is asking what type of data do you want to search for? Right? We will select data type is user. Okay. Here we can add any constraints and stuff like that. We will not add it at the moment. Okay. I will close this for now. And that's all. So couple of things that we did. Repeating group we added on the page. Okay. And repeating group requires two things. Somebody has unmuted themselves. Can you please mute? Okay. So we added the repeating group element. It asks us two things. One is type of content, which is user, and then where is the data source coming from? Okay, and we wanted it to come from server. So the way we do that is use do a search for. I'll do it again. Right, click on click, and then do a search for. What is the type of content we want to do a search for? User. Okay, we can add the constraint and all. We are not doing it at the moment. Click on close, and that's all done. Okay. Now we have added a repeating group where each of the group or cell belongs to a user. I'll show you that. I'll create a solid this thing here. You can see that we have 4 boxes here, right? And it is 4 because we have added rows as 4. And each of this box belongs to a user. Okay. So I'm going to remove this fit width to content. You already know why, right? And now each of this box belongs to one user. You can see user item 1, user item 2, user item 3, user item 4. Now what I'll do is I'll take this particular text. I will put it inside this group. So if you see here repeating group users, right, we have added one text element inside. I'm going to pull the second thing also inside. Okay. And now this particular group is in column format. The repeating group, right, is in column format. If I go to row, then it will come one besides the other. Okay. And these two are the things. Now we don't want current user's email to be shown on every row. What we want is current cells user. Okay. I told each of this cell belongs to one user. So I'll change this to current cells user email, and this one current cells user creation date. Okay. We need some spacing between these two. So I'll go to layout and add some left margin of 20, let's say. Let's go to admin. Refresh. Okay. I can still see ABCD, and I think you can also see your own email ID. Is that true? Okay, and that is because if you go to data types, Okay. User has something called privacy rules applied. Okay. We will cover what is privacy rules applied a bit later. So I am going to this one and deleting this particular privacy rules. We will come back, refresh the page, everyone. And can you see 4 users details now? And it should be the same. ABCD, XYZ, Hari, and Sagar. Is that correct, everyone? Are you able to see the 4 users? Yes, yes, yes. No, no, no. +1, -1. Now it is showing us only 4 users because we have mentioned rows as 4. And here we have set fixed number of rows. Okay, and that's why it is showing us 4. I'll remove this. Okay, and let's go ahead and refresh the page. We should be able to see all the user details who have registered on our portal. All of you should be able to see this. Are you able to see all the details? Everyone? Okay. But now it is not looking nice because it's like this, right? Some has very short width, some has bigger one, like more width. So it doesn't look neat. So what I'm going to do is current cells users email text. Okay, I'm going to make this as 250 with fixed width. And this one, current creation date, we can make it as 200 with fixed width. Okay, just so that we know what it is, we can add a placeholder here. Let's say 12 March 2025. And here we can add abcd at with7.com. Okay. So when we go here, it will be shown in a neat column. Yep. Now, because this is a table, we also need headers. So what we will do is we will copy this. Okay. Firstly, let's do one thing. Let's add these 2 text in a group. So what I'm going to do, I'm selecting this one, I'm selecting this one, and we want it one besides the other. So I'm going to group them in row container. Okay. And I'm going to name this as group each user. The height of this can just be 20. Of course, it will adjust based on the content that we have added. Now, I'll copy the entire group each user, copy the entire group and paste it. And we can go to the repeating group. We have 2 groups now. Okay, group each user and group each user copy. I'm going to repeating group and changing this from row to column so that these groups will come one below the other. Okay, and this I'll make it as group each user. And the first one I'll change it to group header. Okay. And I'm going to this particular text and I'll remove this one. I'll make this user's email. And this one I'll make it as registered date. Let's go to the front end preview, refresh it. you can see that user's email registered date is coming as a header on every cell, because repeating group means it will repeat for every cell in that particular repeating group. So what we have to do is this particular group that we have created, which is group header, we'll go to layout. Okay. And we have something called this element is visible on page load, right? That I will uncheck. I'll uncheck that and then go to conditional and define another condition. If current cell's index is 1, then this is visible. Okay, just so that you understand what is index, I'm going to add a index over here. Okay, and I'm going to mention current cell's index over here. Okay, I'm going to add 1 as canvas placeholder. Let's go over here. And now we will see what happens. So you can see that current cell, this is 1, 2, 3. It is just numbering system. Okay, the first cell will be numbered 1, the second cell will be number 2, third cell will be number 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, and we're telling if the current cell's index is 1, then show the headers, otherwise don't show. We can also make this as bold so that we understand that this is header. Okay, and we can also change the color of the background for this particular group. Okay, let's say EB, EB, EB. And we can change the height of this one to, let's say, 35. Make it as fixed height. We can bring this to center so it looks neat. We can also add some padding on the left and the right side, so it's not sticking to the left corner. And we will have to do the same thing for this one as well. So we will add 20 and 20, so it looks neat and clean. Okay, we can see that here, what do you say? We have a lot of space, right? In the first cell, first row, we don't have space, but in the second row onwards, we have a lot of space. That is because in the repeating group, okay, when we removed the set fixed number of rows, when we removed this, it asked us what is the minimum height of each row. What is the minimum height of each row? Okay, like we did in the group, we said what is the minimum height, what is the maximum height, and so on and so forth. It's asking what is the minimum height of each row. It is 56, right? And in the first row, we have a header and this one, and that's why we are not able to see the what I say space. But in the second group onwards, we don't have the header and the space is remaining. So we can make this one as 25. Okay, and we can actually see that the space will be gone. Does it make sense, everyone? Now, if you want to change the color of the lines that has come in, you can play around with over here. Okay, you have something called separators. You can also make this a solid, dotted, dash, double, whatever border this thing we saw. The same thing. You can also change the width of it. You can change the color of it. I'm going to make this as EB, which is lighter shade of gray. And that generally looks nice. Yeah. I'll remove this debug mode equal to true so that this text is not overlapped. And can you see? Is it looking neat? Everyone +2 if it is looking neat, and -2 if it is not. Rather, if you have understood the concept, +2 if you have not understood, -2. Yeah. Now, I have a question for all of you. Okay. You understood what is the min height of rows? Okay. And it had a set fixed number of rows, and I changed this. Now let's assume I change this to from one column to two column. I make it as 2. What will happen? If I make it as 2, what will happen? Hello, 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 hello. If I make this to 2, what will happen? What are we going to see on the front end? The data comes in 2 columns. Okay. Let's see. Right. You can see that we have the first user here, second user here, third over here, fourth over here, fifth here, sixth here, and so on and so forth. So it actually created 2 columns. If I make this as 3, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, right? So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Here we see some, what to say, mix up happening because we have told this to be 250 pixels, right? And this to be 200. We don't have that much space for 3 columns. So we can make this as 100, and it should be maybe 120. No, 140. Yeah, 140. That should be good enough. Okay, let's try with this. And if this is 130, then the date should also be 130. Okay, so that it follows along. And I can now remove this particular, okay, this is not taking too much space anyways. So we have 3 columns of data. But of course, we don't have the, what to say, user, this thing added over here, right? If you want that, you can add a condition where this particular thing is shown for index less than or equals to 3 for 3 columns. Okay, so you have username, registered date, username, registered date, email, registered date. Okay, in 3 columns, right? So you can play around with the number of columns, number of rows, min height of rows, and so on and so forth. If you don't know how many columns you want to add, okay, let's say, for example, for smaller screen, you want just 1 column. For tablets, you want 2 columns. For desktop, you want 3 columns, and even bigger screens, you want 4 columns. Okay. Then it is asking what is the minimum width of column that you need, right? And we can make this to 300. Okay. And automatically everything will get set. Okay. So I'll go over here. Okay. So within 300, it's not fitting in because this itself is 250 and this one is 130. So we need a minimum of, or let's reduce this one from 250 to, let's say, 150. Okay. And it can go up to 250. Let's say, remove this width to content. We'll use the same thing over here as well. 150 to 250. Okay, so it'll automatically get adjusted. And remove this one out. Let's see if this already fixes this. Yeah, you can see that we have got 4 columns now, right? Because we have told 300 is the width that we want for each of the columns. So the screen size is more than 1200, and that's why we have 4 columns. Is this clear, everyone? Is this clear? Now, what is this setup? Is this a repeating group? How many columns have they added here? Four columns, right? If we go to Amazon, right? Is this a repeating group? Right? What they've done here? How many rows do we have here? Like in the first example we saw, where we had just one column, right? I made this as fixed and made this as one. So what we saw here was just one row, one column with users, right? So if we go here, this is one row, multiple columns. Okay, they would have added a list of things in some data type, and they've used one row, like expand until that entire row is filled, until all the data is shown, and give a scroll. Right, so search for anything, let's say laptop. Is this a repeating group? How many columns do we have here? How many columns do we have here? Praren says 2. How many of you agree it is 2? How many of you think it is 1? Pratham says 1. Akshay and Hari Krishna says it's 1. What is it? 1, 2, 3. How many columns do we have here? Pranav, Ayush says 2. Kushal says 3. It's just one column, guys. Right? We have an image and we have more details. But this is array, right? List of things. List of laptops is being shown here. List of items, rather. Right? And in one row, you have just one item. Like we have over here. Right? When I make this as column, when I make this as 3 columns, we actually have 6 columns. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But in each of the row, how many items are being shown? 1, 2, 3. This 2 belongs to the same item. This 2 belongs to the same item. This 2 belongs to the same item. Okay. That way we are talking about just one column in this particular case. Right? So you see applications, okay, which could be Amazon, it could be anything, right? You will see list of things being shown. Okay. Did you get this, everyone? Okay, great. So that's all we had for today. Okay, we will open up Q&A. But before that, I would like to give you assignment for the next session. The assignment is, firstly, practice repeating group, right? And I want you to make a list of any platforms that you can think of, right? I mean, at least 5 to 10 platforms of your choice. Okay. open it up in your browser. Okay, it could be Airbnb, Amazon, it could be Gmail, WhatsApp, whatever it is. Okay, I want you to take a screenshot of that and then mention if it is single row, what I say, if it is single column, two columns, three columns, four columns, right? And if it is single row, like we saw over here. Okay, in this particular case, single row but multiple columns, right? The number of columns is dynamic here. Okay, row is single. So you can make a list of 5 or 10 such websites where you take a screenshot so that we can review it whenever we are doing it. Okay, and you mention what is the number of columns in that particular screenshot. What is the rows? If rows is not like 1, 2, or 3, then you will make it as dynamic, right? Similarly for columns also. Okay. In this particular case, what I would do is I will take a screenshot. I'll add number of rows is 1 and columns is dynamic based on the number of items. Here we have columns 4. Number of rows is dynamic. Okay. Clear about your assignment, everyone? Type in clear in the chat box if you are clear about what needs to be done. Clear, clear, clear. Yes, come on. Only 5 people. 6. All others. Okay, great. Thank you so much for responding. And I hope this was also a valuable session for all of you and you were able to learn a lot. Okay, now we will open up for the Q&A session. Okay, you can ask your questions and I'll answer them. You can type in the chat box whatever questions you have, or if you have practiced something and if you want to share your screen and ask questions, you can do so on Zoom as well. Do let me know. Thank you so much for responding. And I hope this was also a valuable session. How is Bubble different from Flutterflow? Okay, a very good question. So Flutterflow allows you to create mobile applications, right? It's mobile first, whereas Bubble allows you to create web applications, and they are also working on what I say your mobile application development now. Plus, Flutterflow allows you to develop the thing, whereas the database is not within Flutterflow. You have to use Supabase, you have to use some other database to store the data, right? It's not a all-in-one platform. Okay. Whereas Bubble, everything is within Bubble. Okay, you're doing the front end on Bubble, you're doing the back end on Bubble, you're having the database on Bubble, you will be launching your app on Bubble, right? Everything happens on one single platform. Okay, those are the major differences between Flutterflow and Bubble. Okay, until now, a lot of people would go with Flutterflow if they have to develop mobile applications. Okay, but if they have to develop web applications or something like that, then it would be on Bubble, right? And there were cases where a few would develop their mobile application on Flutterflow and a web application on Bubble, right? But very soon, I would say within the next 3 months or so, Bubble will launch their mobile application development as well, which means you develop it on Bubble and that will be available on web application, that will be available on iOS, that will be available on Google Play Store, right? It will be available across all the platforms that you use, and you develop and maintain it in one platform. Yeah. So I hope I'm able to answer you, Shashma. Any other questions from anybody? Or if anybody wants to share their screen and showcase like what they were practicing, what they've been able to do and stuff like that, do let me know. Anybody wants to showcase what they've done? I mean, of course, for people who have joined on Zoom, if you want to showcase, do let me know. I'll enable sharing and you can share your screen. Anyone? Everybody is busy packing their laptop chargers and stuff like that. Everyone. Okay. Anyways, so please do visit your skill lab and do practice these sessions. Okay. Do not miss them. Our next session is happening on Friday, if I'm not wrong. Meghna is here. Meghna, it's on Friday, right? No questions from anybody? All clear? Okay, great. Then thank you so much for your time. I hope it was valuable for you as well. And like I keep mentioning, please practice, practice, practice. And if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the community and one of us will answer it and enjoy the journey. Thank you, everyone. We can wind up for today.